Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Montreal for round 5 of the Coleslaw Cup. Now, 14 corners make up this technical 4.3-kilometer circuit, 8 of them to the right and then 6 to the left. The track's 3 DRS zones should create some overtaking opportunities, but the drivers will have to drive extra carefully in order to not pick up any track limits penalties. Now, I have commentated at least one league race before on this track since the drop of the new game, and I gotta say, it was a very entertaining Grand Prix. Only 14 drivers on the grid tonight, but nonetheless should be a very entertaining, 35 laps that we have in store for you tonight. Yeah, should be an absolutely good one. Hotspot on the call. So far, in this season of Coleslaw Cup, we have seen very many twists and turns in the championship, and it's only going to get better here today as we head to a very difficult track. Thankfully, the weather will be good, and should be a very entertaining race. So, ladies and gentlemen, then, as the formation lap begins, we've got a lot to tell you about tire strategy tonight. Well, it's going to be an interesting one. The soft tires only lasting you probably, most likely, between 9 and 13 laps, the mediums 15 to 20, and the hards between 22 and 25. And it looks like the race is actually starting. Heck, with formation laps, we have 5 lights, and then it is lights out, and away we go. And as it turns out, I believe Dace got a much better start off the line then. Yeah, he's actually cleared that front row then. Murfancelli down to the inside. Scornsy's gone way deep into the corner. Somehow is going to get that position back. Although Murfancelli's still right there. A-Dub making his way down to the inside. We get a yellow flag off towards the back. Someone has gone around. It is the Mercedes of Dusty Lusky. Majacco and Murfancelli swapping positions then. It looks like Majacco has come out on top for now. However, that was a great start then from Dace. A-Dub, Shariah Coleslaw's gone off, and he's gone, wow, something has happened then with the Alpine. However, it looks as if Dace has gotten away to the best start then. He's already put 0.5 of a second back to Scornsy, and crucially now, his teammate of A-Dub is pressuring the Haas then. It looks as if A-Dub might get away to getting around Scornsy here. He's definitely going to look for it. He's going to go down to the inside of turn number 10. Scornsy's going to cut off the move. Smartly then goes the Haas, and it looks like El Majacco is going to have to sit and watch this, as right now he simply does not have the pace advantage to get back up to this battle. A-Dub all over the gearbox of the Haas, of Scornsy that is. He's used up half of his battery already though. Meanwhile, Dace has been quite conservative so far, still at 69%. Nice. Scornsy now into the turn 13 and 14, and it looks as if Scornsy so far has not been able to challenge the AlphaTauri of Dace, and is being challenged by the AlphaTauri of A-Dub. El Majacco in pursuit of this battle as well. He's put a second back to Murfancelli. It looks like the Red Bulls, just for a moment there, were side by side, and Murfancelli has gotten around his teammate, a Chevy Freak. Unholy Red Eye back there in 7th, being pressured by Ray 46. Doesn't quite look anything's going to be happening for now. Nicky 64 trying to take it around the outside of Ray Lobo. Can he get back down to the inside with a better traction? Yes, he does. And this is going to be a brilliant move then from Nicky if he makes it stick, which he does. Very nicely done then from the Mercedes. However, it doesn't look as if the battle's over yet. Ray Lobo is still right there and still looking for a weakness then of the Mercedes. DRS won't be happening yet, but when it does, I'm assuming we'll be seeing a lot more overtaking action then. Look at the absolute mixture of tires tonight. Dace started on the mediums, Scornsy on the mediums, A-Dub and Jacko, as well as Chevy Freakin' Ray all on the softs. Murfancelli, Smith Pell, Nicky 64, Ray Lobo, and Knuckles all on the hards. It is really, good God, is that an even split all the way, 5 on 5 each, as Ray Lobo and Dusty Lusky swapping positions here as they head through turn number 10. It looks like Ray Lobo went quite wide then. It looks like, has the Aston Martin of Ray 46 gone off then? He's quite slow onto the inside of the circuit. He is losing positions left and right. Something has happened then with the Aston Martin, but it looks like Dusty Lusky has gotten around his teammate of Nicky 64 then. It looks like now Chevy Freak and Murfancelli battling it out once again into turn 1. The 2 Red Bull drivers, one of them on the hards, one of them on the softs. Yellow flag then. It looks like, as Unholy Red Eye had an incident there. Nope, but somebody has the Aston Martin of Ray 46 into the pits then. So look at this. 4 drivers starting on the softs. It was at 6 on the mediums, and then 5 on the hards. It's almost an even split between every tire compound. This will be truly an interesting race here. DRS open then for the AlphaTauri of A-Dub. Can he find a move around Scornsy? I don't think the opportunity is going to be now, but Scornsy, by golly, has got a lot of work to do. Lots of oversteer then coming out of turn number 9. This might be a good opportunity here for A-Dub. Going down into turn 10, he's going to take the outside line. Is he going to try to cut back down to the inside? That's exactly what he's trying to do. Battery being turned on then for A-Dub. A bit slow on the throttle, I'd say. The Aston Martin of Ray 46 is going off once again, that being at that point in time. Turn 6 and 7. DRS wide open for the AlphaTauri then of A-Dub. Can he find a way around Scornsy? It doesn't quite look like he will. I doubt he's going to try and overtake into the wall of champions, and he chooses not to smartly. I tell you what, he got a much better exit of the corner that time, though. A-Dub, mind you, is on the faster tires as well, albeit for now, in a very short amount of time, those mediums will take precedence. But for now, the softs still have that advantage. Can A-Dub find a move around Scornsy here? He just hasn't managed to just yet. Ray 46 has had himself quite the I don't know the word. He's had himself not a very good outlap from the pits, I'll say that much. A-Dub now within half a second on Scornsy. Nicky 64 is within 0.3 then on Tweezer. These two have battled back and forth for quite some time. In fact, it was not very long ago a Williams sandwich, as the Mercedes is still in between the two drivers, albeit Ray 46 getting a 3-second time penalty then for cutting multiple corners, as it turns out. Nicky 64 DRS open here for the Mercedes. Can his find the way down past the Williams here? Doesn't quite look like he will. He's just simply going to run out of time. He's going to run out of room that time, I'm afraid. A-Dub still looking for it past Scornsy here, but he's just got nothing at the moment. He just doesn't. It looks as if A-Dub doing everything he can to try and find this room past Scornsy. He's just not been able to find anything so far. Looks like Knuckles and Ray Lobo battling it out back there. It looks like Knuckles actually cleared him prior to Wall of Champions. That looked a good move then. Nicky 64 within a 10th here on Tweezer. Is he going to find it down to the inside? Hard tires versus medium tires. Contact being made. Nicky 64. Oh, contact once again. The Mercedes still there. Still fighting, trying to find the outside. And he does. But goodness gracious, neither driver performing defense or overtaking cleanly. Obviously nothing on purpose, I would assume, but still, that could have gone a lot better for sure. Scornsy and A-Dub both using up a large portion of their battery percentage. Dace has not. Dace still has about half a battery to go. He doesn't plan on using it either. He's about 2 seconds past Scornsy here. A little bit further back, do we potentially have a battle? Unholy Red Eye on Murph and Selly as they head through this backstretch now. It looks like Dusty Lusky might have a move on Smith Pell here shortly. Ray 46 into the pits he goes. On what's happened here, Unholy Red Eye kind of wanted to move around the outside. Murph and Selly wouldn't give him the room to make it happen. Smart driving then by Murph and Selly to make sure that move couldn't take place. Dusty Lusky now within 0.2 on Smith Pell in the Alpine. He's going to try to find it down to the inside. I think he's going to have this one quite clearly as well. Side by side then, and yeah, he's going to have that one with ease. But will he be able to hold on to it? That there is the question. Smith Pell, can he find a way back on Dusty Lusky here? Can Tweezer find a way back to Nicky 64? These two have had quite a battle so far today. Unholy Red Eye trying to find a way past Murph and Selly. Doesn't quite look like anything's going to amount to that anytime soon. Remember, for those on the soft tires, got a yellow flag towards the back as Knuckles done something here. Somebody's had a little bit of an off. Oh, it's Ray 46 getting out of the way once more. Unholy Red Eye within 0.8 of a second. On Murph and Selly in front of him. I'm afraid that is not enough time to make an overtake happen then. Not quite sure. But remember, those drivers on the on the soft tires, they will be having a pit stop between laps 9 and 13, so that is coming up soon. Within about 5 laps time then. 6 laps time. Unholy Red Eye still trying to find a move around Murph and Selly here. Still nothing at the moment. Ray 46 is retired in the pits then, unfortunately for him. His day did go from bad to worse quite quickly. Ooh, bit of a wall slap there from Unholy Red Eye. He's kept it together, but that almost ended poorly. 0.5 of a second. Meanwhile, El Majacco looks to be under pressure here from Chevy Freak, as that battle was within a second not too long ago. Is he going to get DRS? Yes, he will, although he's outside of 1.2 seconds now. This battle here, 0.5 of a second, Unholy Red-Eye and Murfancelli, that looks to be a move that could be made this lap. He's definitely going to look for it. Down to the inside, he had a peek, although I think he chose better to not do that. Well, he may have hit the wall then. Chevy Freak, he's still within a few tenths on Jacko ahead of him. It looks like for now, everything has settled down here. As we are about... Knuckles has picked up 3 seconds for multiple warnings then. Biggest mover in the positive direction, that being Smith Pell up 5 positions since the initial start. First and second have stayed the same. A-Dub has improved, Jacko has improved, Chevy Freak has improved, Murfancelli has dropped 3. Dusty Lusky also dropped 3, Shariah down 5. He is the biggest mover in the negative direction at the moment. Meanwhile, he is also in a battle with that of Knuckles. Murfancelli 3 seconds for multiple warnings then. Shariah Coleslaw, as you can see, trying to get around the Haas in front of him. Doesn't have the room to do it. Again, it's very difficult to overtake on this track, especially without the aid of DRS. There's not very many corners you can outbrake him into, and I'm afraid he's going to have to wait once again, within 0.3 of a second, but not enough to get up to the Haas. Maybe can he have him into the braking zone of turn 10? We'll have to see. Oh yeah, he's much better on acceleration that time. Is he going to find it down the left side? No, and very clever here of Knuckles to block off that inside line. However, can Shariah take him around the outside? He very well may. It's going to be side by side here, perhaps, in a moment's time, and it will. Shariah Coleslaw trying to find the left side around Knuckles. He does. And, yeah, I believe he is going to make that move stick. Nicely done, then, from the Alpine of Shariah Coleslaw. Unholy Red-Eye within 0.3 then on Murfancelli in front of him. Meanwhile, El Majaco's within a second on A-Dub. That battle could get interesting very quickly. Mind you, El Majaco is on that soft tire as well as A-Dub. Chevy Freak's in on this as well, so a good 3-car battle here for what eventually could be the podium spot. El Majaco's gone a bit slow in a turn 8 and 9 that time. That's really held up Chevy Freak then. Chevy Freak at this moment looks much faster than the Ferrari ahead of him. Down into turn 10 they go. It is currently 3rd, 4th, and 5th. All within a good second and a half of each other here. Will anybody be able to find the move? And El Majaco, I think, just does have better straight line speed at this moment in time. He has completely blown Chevy Freak out of the water. Meanwhile, Unholy Red-Eye, can he find a move past Murfancelli here? And he does. Nicely done then from Unholy Red-Eye, but it's still going to be a good battle here. Murfancelli wants it back. He's going to want that inside. Can he find it into turn 1? He's there for now. And no, unfortunately, he does not have the room to make that move happen. It was very close, and a very good effort then from Murfancelli, but unable to make it happen. Ray Lobo now has gone off. Oh, and we have a safety car on track. Debris has been scattered on exit of turn 10, that being due to the Williams of Ray Lobo, who's missing a front wing and more. And the safety car has come out. Now, if you are Dace, Scornsy, A-Dub, and pretty much everyone back from Tweezer back to Shariah, that has come out at an absolutely poor time, because now you might be at a disadvantage. This is what I'm going to be interested in, though. Who's going to go on what tire? It might get very interesting here very shortly. We'll go ahead and assume that everyone who's not on a hard tire will be coming in. Mind you, the softs can last to about lap 20. But I would definitely be coming in if I was them. Remember, the hards can last you up to 25 laps. So at the moment, everybody who pits now for the hards will make it to the end of the race. And that is, I believe, exactly what they're going to do. So that may mean EDA Murfancelli could perhaps take the lead of this Grand Prix. As he makes his way through Wall of Champions, granted, he does have that time penalty that's going to be working against him. However, Murfancelli will be inheriting the lead here. Unless does Dace beat him? Oh, this is a race out of the pit lane here. And Dace is going to stay ahead of him. And you can see Murfancelli was gunning it back then, trying to get past Dace, giving it all he could, and Dace comes out on top. And that, meanwhile, has separated Dace and Scornsy then. And Majaco's actually gone on the mediums here. That's quite interesting, that. Smith Pell's gone on the mediums as well. Nicky 64 on the mediums, Ray Lobo on mediums. So, interesting decisions here. I figured we'd see everybody on the hards, but as it turns out, we've got some daring drivers on the mediums then. And as we let this safety car subside, I will step aside. So the safety car making its way in this lap, and in case you missed it, it certainly appears that we've got some differential in the tire strategy then, as a lot of drivers have actually chosen, I say a lot, at least four of them, have chosen to go on the medium tires, that being Nicky 64, Ray Lobo, El Majacco, and Smith Pell. Everyone else has chosen to stay on the hards. Murfancelli chose not to pit as well. He has started the race on the hard tires, tried his best to get up to Dace and take away that top spot as Dace was coming out of the pit lane from the safety car pit stop, and wasn't able to do so. So now Dace leads the field. Scornsy's got one other driver in his way back to getting back to the lead here. Green flag back in the air. I'd like to believe that Murfancelli is at somewhat of a disadvantage here, as Scornsy's going to have a look down the inside. Nothing serious then, I'd say, as we take a look on back. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be making any serious lunges here. As look at already now, Dace has put a second back to Murfancelli, almost a second and a half already. We're only a mere few corners in. Scornsy now, this is the big battle for him. He's going to have to get around Murfancelli right here, and he doesn't. He has to get back to Dace in order to stay within that DRS gap, because so far today, Dace has been relatively unmatched. Scornsy was under pressure from A-Dub. A-Dub was out, well, actually, sorry, other way around. A-Dub was under pressure from Jacko. Jacko under pressure from Chevy Freak, and Chevy Freak was kind of all watching it unfold as the battle for third was raging on. But now it looks as if Scornsy might be in trouble here, as A-Dub might catch up to him at some point. Murfancelli covered off the inside line. Scornsy wasn't able to take the spot. Murfancelli nearly lost it on exits. Scornsy did good to be hesitant there, but that has cost Scornsy another 2 seconds. Back to Dace, that gap actually, teetering at about 2 seconds there. Scornsy finally making the move down to the inside. Side by side then goes El Majacco and A-Dub, almost getting into the wall of champions chicane there. And A-Dub picking up 3 seconds of time penalty now. Chevy Freak's going to be looking down to the inside. It looks like Murfancelli might get overtaken here. He's going to try to strike back then at Scornsy. Almost had it, this being for the second spot. Looking back down to the inside. That move's almost being made. Nearly, but not enough. A-Dub did pick up the 3 second penalty. I believe that was after going side by side then with El Majacco trying to run through Wall of Champions, and it didn't quite work. Dusty Lusky, he's within a couple tenths now with Chevy Freak. Chevy Freak trying to reel in A-Dub here. Meanwhile, it looks like Scornsy, all he's been doing so far is dropping back to that of Dace. As Dace now picking up 3 seconds of time penalty. That was going through turns 8 and 9. And now, a big incident then. A-Dub, Chevy Freak have gone off. What has happened between those two drivers, whatever it was, has resulted in an accident then. Those drivers we knew were in close contact with each other, as Chevy Freak does retire from the session on track. Those drivers were in close quarters with each other then. And somehow, some way, that has resulted in the DNF of the Red Bull then. Majacco's going to look down to the Red Bull's teammate of Murfancelli here. Didn't quite get a look. Murfancelli almost clipping the wall on exit then. Dace fastest lap. Despite having the 3 second time penalty, he has exceeded that time back to Scornsy to 3.2 seconds. That will be enough to keep his win if he does get it. El Majacco trying to find his way past Murfancelli here, but to no avail. It looks as if Murfancelli's been quite good on the defensive end. Nearly striking back at Scornsy a couple laps ago. Now does Nicky 64 potentially have a look at Shirai here in the next few moments? Looks like Tweezer was almost able to defend the position. Then it looks like Shirai is going to have DRS. We know that. Will that position be lost then for Tweezer as Knuckles? 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings. That puts him up to 6. Alright, Coleslaw only within a few tenths now. Meanwhile, the battle for third. Can El Majacco find his way around EDA Murfancelli? He might just, meanwhile, the battle for the lead. Dace, that 3 second gap now down to 2.9. And I tell you what, Majacco nearly found his way around Murfancelli. Then Murfancelli got on the brakes a little bit early then, and that was able to prevent Majacco from taking the spot. However, only temporarily, as Jacko now down to the inside heading into turn 1, and El Majacco in the Ferrari's got that one made. However, Murfancelli's still right there, and he's got Dusty Lusky behind him. Tweezer and Shariah Coleslaw were right side by side then for a second. It looks like Shariah was not able to get the spot then from Tweezer. Tried his damnedest. Mickey 64, he's right in on this as well as they head now through turns 3 and 4. Trying everything they can. Shariah doing his best. He needs to find his way around Tweezer here. I believe he is the much faster driver in this equation, including Knuckles as well. DRS open then for both these drivers. It looks as if Tweezer is going to escape the overtake one more time. Perhaps heading down that back straight, that move will be made. Dusty Lusky, can he find a way somehow around Murfancelli? He's going to look down to the inside. That move still not enough to be made. As Scornsy now once again teetering outside of that 3-second window. Dusty Lusky, he's going to look down to the inside of the Red Bull of Murfancelli, and he's going to make that one. I'd say easily, but that's not exactly true, and I'm sure Murfancelli's going to look to strike back here shortly. Meanwhile, once again, A-Dub and Ray Lobo battling it out there, and A-Dub's gotten around the the left side then of the Williams. Something's happened there on exit of Wall of Champions. Here comes Shariah Coleslaw. Can he find his way down to the inside? He's going to look back again, down to the inside then on the Williams ahead of him. Contact! No, it's not. Somehow, some way, that was kept clean. Knuckles made a bit of an error then. That might open the door for Tweezer. However, none of these drivers are able to pounce on these opportunities that they're being given. Shariah taking his time, still trying to hunt for a way around the Williams Tweezer, and I gotta hand it to Tweezer. Knuckles has gone off track then. Can Shariah do them both here? DRS is going to be open. It's been a poor getaway then from Shariah. Can he find his way around at least Knuckles? And he does. That's going to help him out quite severely, although it is still side by side. Nicky 64 in on this as well. Side by side through turn 8 and 9. Wow, that almost ended poorly. And now, but look at this, it's still not over. Knuckles then still to the left side of Shariah Coleslaw. Nicky 64, all he can do is watch and wait. Deep into the corner then goes Knuckles. Down to the inside then goes A-Dub. 3 wide here coming out of turn 11. Who's going to get the position? It looks like Knuckles has gotten away from it for now. Wow, quite entertaining this. Nicky 64 in pursuit. He wants a position here. He's going to look down to the inside on Shariah. Heading into turns 13 and 14. That can only end poorly. And now Shariah has picked up 3 seconds. And albeit that was for giving Nicky 64 space, but now positions 8 through 13 all to play for here, as every driver does have time penalties. Murfancelli and Unholy Red Eye both have 3 seconds. Dace also has 3 seconds. Oh, and Nicky's gone around. Was contact made then? That was a very sudden spin on behalf of the Mercedes, and I hate to say it, but that one didn't look natural at all. I'm not going to point fingers at A-Dub here, but I tell you what, he was closest to the scene of the crime, and that did not look like a natural spin. However, that one did. As Smith-Pell goes around. Does he get it back under control? Well, he does eventually. As Tweezer now, I think he did manage to get around Knuckles then. No, I don't know. As Shariah Coleslaw still looking to get past Knuckles here. Mind you, Knuckles does have 9 seconds worth of penalties. Can Dusty Lusky find a move around Majacko for the final podium spot? We have 15 laps to go this time by. Still a lot of work left to be done. Gonna look for it here, back to the gearbox. I tell you what, Majacko is defending quite a lot. Looks like Ray Lobo and Smith-Pell battling it out back then. It looked as if, oh, what's this here? Can Shariah find his way to the inside of Knuckles? Doesn't quite. I tell you what, he was right there. Just wasn't able to make it happen. Down to the inside now goes A-Dub on Shariah Coleslaw. Then he's really looking for it. Down to the turn 6 and 7. Does he find it? Heavy over the curb. Then goes the AlphaTauri. Still looking for it. Still going to try around the outside. DRS open then for the AlphaTauri as well as the Alpine then. Even Stevens between these two, and I think A-Dub is going to come away with that position. However, only just. And now can Unholy Red Eye find a way around Murfancelli? This is a crucial one here. Both these drivers on 3 seconds of penalties. Thankfully for them, they will not be losing out anything here. Dusty Lusky starting to fall back of Majacko here, perhaps taking a minute to revitalize his battery storage, as they are about even on that, 43 and 44 respectively between the two. Unholy Red Eye, can he find the bottom then of Murfancelli heading into turn 1? It's side by side between the Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull. Can Knuckles 5-second penalty speeding of the pit lane, and I smell a DNF coming up, unfortunately, unless perhaps he does have to stop and then put on the other set of tires, which, by the way, Murfancelli will need to do here at some point. He hasn't fit the other of the two required compounds here. And we have a safety car on track. That I didn't expect. Why, and now, I tell you what. There have now been a few instances in this Coleslaw Cup. To nobody's fault, mind you. This is the game putting out the safety cars. There have been a lot of these mystery safety cars now. I cannot tell you why this one was brought out. Nobody has DNF'd on track. Nobody seems to have left a large amount of debris coming from the fact that it's only Unholy Red Eye in the pits now. Oh, Murfancelli's gone in as well. Well, Murfancelli isn't changing a front wing, nor, I believe, is Red Eye. No, Red Eye's not replacing a front wing. So, I mean, what's the deal? Why are we having this, then? Shariah on his way in? Does he perhaps have a hand in this? We'll find out here in a second. The answer appears to be no. Well, that moves Ray Lobo up to 8th, but if you are Dace, I mean, that has put you in quite a terrible spot then, as you do still have that 3-second penalty, and you've got a raging Scornsy behind you. Well, while we sort this out, I'll step aside. So the safety car on its way in this lap, and we will once again have a mad dash to the finish, as we will be resuming this race with 11 laps to go. Dace is in quite the hole here. He's got 3 seconds worth of time penalty. Scornsy in second. El Majaco in third. It's going to be quite the battle here. These two, remember, had the classic in Singapore, which Scornsy led pretty much the whole race, and El Majaco overtook him at the death. Might be the same situation here today. Dusty Lusky's, I'd say, quite the sleeper in this position here. Currently P4. Tweezer in on this as well. He's currently P5. Does have 3 seconds of time penalty. He's got A-Dub behind him. But I tell you what, this looks to be a super competitive top 5, and the green flag will be back in the air at this point now. Scornsy, once again, doesn't get the launch off the safety car that I'm sure he would have appreciated. I mean, I'm telling you what here, Scornsy today just looks, well, there's only one way to say it, and I'm afraid it's off. He does not look the competitive self that he usually is. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, we got an incident back there. Ray Lobo has gone around, and that is on exit of turn number 2. And that is a very unfortunate place to go off then. Thankfully, not a lot of debris left on the circuit. It looks like A-Dub then back within 2/10 of Tweezer. This being for the 5th spot. Mind you, they do all have penalties. But if that's the case, they will only lose 1, as everybody from P8 to P13 is on at least 3 seconds of penalty. So, no harm, no foul, I'd say. Meanwhile, Murfancelli wants in on this with Smith-Pell. Oh, Tweezer's gone off to the side then. A-Dub's gone around the outside. Smith-Pell, can he potentially overtake as well? He certainly might have a look here down to the turn 10. That was very odd happening there from Tweezer. Way down is late braking then is Smith-Pell. Contact being made with the Williams. It's going to be 3 wide back there. Perhaps does the Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull slip to the inside? No, they don't. However, big conundrum here is now the Red Bull. That's Murfancelli wanting it somehow, some way around the left side. He's going to be side by side then with the Alfa Romeo. No, and he's going to tuck back in line. However, the Alfa Romeo down to the inside on Tweezer heading into turns 13 and 14. Who gets the better go here? And it looks like now Unholy Red Eye does get a great launch. He's on the soft tires as well. Fresh soft tires then for Unholy Red Eye down to the inside on Tweezer, and he's going to take that 7th spot. I'd say with these, but that's not necessarily true as Tweezer. Back down to the inside still, and he's still looking for 10 laps to go in this Canadian Grand Prix. And it's still side by side between the Alfa Romeo and the Williams. And it looks like finally, perhaps, does the Williams get out to the advantage here. Meanwhile, Dusty Lusky within 8/10 on El Majaco, and Scornsy now already outside of 1.2 seconds on Dace, and that's not necessarily helpful there at all. Unholy Red Eye getting around Tweezer then. Murfancelli, does he have a move around that left side? Yes, he does. Does it nicely then. And does Smith-Pell have a move as well? No. But Nicky64, oh, he got pushed off track, and he's going to lose out to position on Knuckles. That was a very interesting turn of events then. Everybody trying to overtake the same person, and unfortunately only one person did it. Shariah Coleslaw now down to the inside on Tweezer, and he's going to make that move happen. Unfortunately for Tweezer, who started 5th on the when the safety car came in, he's down to 10th in a matter of 2 laps. Not the start to this final stint that he wanted for sure. DRS will be enabled here. The Haas wanted to look down to the inside. Tweezer blocked it off. Meanwhile, the Haas and Knuckles, mind you, still on 9 seconds of penalties. A little bit of shuffling about back there. It looks like Nicky 64 and Knuckles side by side. Hey, heading into turn 1. Who gets the benefit of the position? And it looks like Nicky 64 does. I don't want to say with ease, as he had to go side by side then. That's quite uncomfortable if you're a driver. We'll have to see how this one turns out. 0.5 of a second between perhaps Dusty Lusky in a podium, perhaps Scornsy in a win. I know Scornsy doesn't necessarily need to try too hard to win this race, although I tell you what, he definitely looks like. Now, and I'm going to tell you this right now, Scornsy, not typically a driver who wants to take a win on a penalty, but I tell you what, he might just need to take it today. He has had nothing for Dace as far as pace is concerned. .6 of a second. But Unholy Red Eyes got 0.3 back to Smith Pell. Can he find the inside? Going into Wall of Champions? No, he doesn't. I tell you what, I'm glad he didn't make that move. That would have been catastrophic if he did. Nicky 64 and Knuckles swapping positions then. Well, that looked a bit dangerous then. Tweezer now, can he find the inside of Knuckles? He's looking for it, and I believe he will have that one heading into turn 1. Although maybe not. It's side by side here. Who's going to have it? Is there contact made? I wasn't quite sure. Oh, but Nicky 64 has gone around, and he's collected. Oh, that was, I think it was Knuckles in front of him. That's going to leave debris out on track. It may have been Tweezer, but there is now bits of front wing left out on track. Dusty Lusky now within 0.3 on El Majaco, this being for the 3rd spot. Eventually might be 2nd. Meanwhile, Dace almost up to 2.5 seconds already. How has Dace managed to put this much ground in between himself and Scornsy? That is puzzling to me. 0.5 of a second. Dusty Lusky on Jacko. This will be, I guess, for the 3rd spot, considering Dace has over, I believe that's about 5 seconds now, back to Jacko. And now Scornsy. 3 seconds of time penalty. You see how much? Look how much battery he is using trying to catch back up. That could have potentially sealed the deal for an AlphaTauri Dace win here today. As Shariah Coleslaw and Smith Pell swapping positions here, the 2 Alpine drivers. Smith Pell on the softs as well. No, Smith Pell's on the medium, so Shariah Coleslaw having the pace advantage for now. Meanwhile, El Majaco is... He's outside of 3 seconds on Scornsy. Oh, Nicky 64's gone off. Oh, that's in the pits. Okay, never mind. Anyways, Dusty Lusky now within 0.4, half a second now on El Majaco. Gee, it's changing so quickly. I can't even keep up with it. Dace, oh no. And look at this, Dace, another 3 seconds of time penalty. That puts him up to 6. And now the dream for Scornsy is still alive. What has perhaps happened then? I'm assuming that was going through turns 8 and 9. That was rather sudden. Man, quite the turn of events happening now. Smith Pell under pressure then from Unholy Red Eye, and Unholy Red Eye, I believe, is going to have just better traction out of that corner. He's going to take the spot as well. 0.3 of a second. Dusty Lusky and Jacko, this being for the 3rd spot. Heading down towards turn 1, we have 5 laps to go. Or thereabouts. Oh, Dusty Lusky wanted the inside. I tell you what, Jacko is defending left and right here, doing everything he can to make sure that he keeps that spot side by side here between Shariah and Murph and Selly going through turn number 2 now. This is Shariah Coleslaw down to the inside. Oh, wait, hang on, someone's gone off then. Oh, I tell you what, I about had a heart attack. It's side by side. Bless myself. I had a, oh boy. Does the sneeze happen? Right, no it doesn't. Anyways, I could have swore I about had a heart attack then. I saw the yellow flag flip happen immediately as Scornsy was passing through that section of the track. I tell you what, I almost, we almost about had a collapse on the floor then. Looks like now, Jacko and Dusty Lusky, now these two have been battling for quite some time. both of them about level pegging on battery. Dusty Lusky's been trying his luck into turn 1, which I believe is probably the best spot to kind of overtake if you've not got the move to be made here. But El Majaka keeps kind of like walking off the move into the corner. I'll give him, it's great defending. But that has got to be so frustrating then for Dusty Lusky, who, watch this, he's going to try it again here. He's going to try to make the move down to the inside. Majako's going to try perhaps to cut it off. No, he didn't have it in the first place, but we've seen it a couple times now. 5 laps to go. Time penalties is going to play a huge impact on this race as, well, pretty much everybody has them. Dusty Lusky still within 4/10 on Jacko. As Unholy Red Eye now, 3 seconds of time penalty for multiple warnings. That puts him up to 6. He currently under pressure from Smith Pell, and he's currently pressuring Shariah Coleslaw. Meanwhile, the battle for 3rd position, Dusty Lusky, can he find it on El Majako here? Both of these drivers conserving their battery, waiting for that opportunity, going down out of turn 11. Or is it turn 12? Yeah, well, that's a turn, that. Okay. Right, anyways. Right, so this is turn 10. Now watch this. Down to the inside. This here is turn 11. I could see that. But then this, that's a turn? Alright, anyways. So now Dusty Lusky gonna find the left side of El Majako here with the DRS, with battery being used as well. And that was a great move then for Dusty, putting him up to 3rd. Oh, but he loses it! No, and he keeps it! Wow! And that, I tell you what, was quite squirrely then. And had that wall not conveniently been put there to, I'd say realign the Mercedes of Dusty Lusky. Oh no, and he's gone around! Oh no, and Dusty Lusky has suffered from the oversteer virus, I'm afraid. And that drops him down to P6 just when he made that move happen. So unfortunate then for the Mercedes of Dusty Lusky, and that has probably sealed that podium position then for El Majako. Shariah Coleslaw, can he find the inside then of Dusty Lusky, now looking for DRS advantage as well? Yeah, I think he's going to have it here. Battery being used. It's going to be side by side into turn 8. Still side by side. No clear cut winner of the position then. Side by side still. This battle's going to go all the way down to turn 10. It's still side by side between these two. And Unholy Red Eye's in pursuit as well. Down in the corner they go. Unholy Red Eye, maybe a little bit of contact, then back to Dusty Lusky. Unholy Red Eye, I think he's really going to have to let these two battle it out, as that was not going to be a good way to take that position. Who's going to have DRS? It is the Alpine of Shariah. Dusty Lusky's on the outside. He doesn't have anything for the Alpine at the moment. Unholy Red Eye is going to look down to the inside. Doesn't quite have enough to make that move happen. 33rd lap of the Grand Prix. Big wiggle then from Unholy Red Eye. Somehow he's able to keep that one off the wall. That was dangerous. 0.2 of a second now between Dusty Lusky and Shariah for that 6th spot. Meanwhile, mind you, Dusty doesn't have 3 seconds of penalty. He'll probably get it anyways. Interesting scenario this. Dace on the precipice of losing out on that win. He's got 6 seconds of penalty. Mind you, Scornsy's got 3. So you do the math on that. So Dace will have to be ahead of Scornsy here by that 3-second interval to keep that win. Now, there is a 10th between Dace and taking the win of the Grand Prix. 1/10, less than that. It's within the thousandths of a second now. And now Scornsy back within 3 seconds. We're going to be coming to 2 laps to go this time by. As Smith Pell and Unholy Red Eye trading positions then. I believe the Alpine then, I tell you what, the Alfa Romeo quite slow off exit of the corner. Maybe he's had somewhat of oversteer then and wasn't able to get the car up to speed. Well, it's 2 laps to go then. 1/10 of a second or less separates Dace in a win. Separates Scornsy from a win here as well. Now, mind you, Dace has had the pace advantage all day. Scornsy, however, is used to the pressure, and I think that might be the advantage there that the Haas driver has. Scornsy has been put in these stressful situations all the time. Dace, I don't want to say relatively new to it, but I can't remember the last time Dace was within 3/1000ths of winning a race and not. He's going to have to drive absolutely picture perfect for this next lap and a half. Does he have the ability to do it? 3/10 here between Dusty and Shariah. Still looking for it then. Big wiggle then from Dusty. He does hold on to the car quite brilliantly, these drivers. They've been faced with oversteer all day long. And somehow, some way, they've been able to hold on to the car. Currently, as it stands, Scornsy within a 10th and a half of having the win. But Dace, look at the straight line speed advantage that he has. That gap almost now as we start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Dace, I'm not sure if he does have the advantage anymore. It's within 5/100ths of a second, as now within a 10th. That gap getting larger and larger. He's waiting. Is Scornsy going to be able to make a mistake? No, it looks like Dace has made one up ahead. No. And now Dace has speed once again, 5/100ths of a second. Dusty Lusky 3 seconds for multiple warnings. He's side by side then with Shariah going through turn 2. Shariah's gotten loose then, and Dusty's going to have it round the outside. Murfincelli and A-Dub battling it out as well. I believe Murfincelli's got in that position, but currently 3/100ths of a second separates Scornsy from a win and Dace from a win. Who is going to have it? Down into turn 10 they go. Both of these drivers within their last few percents of battery here. Yellow flag towards the back. It's Shariah Coleslaw who's gone around. His teammate of Smith Pell getting around him. Shariah Coleslaw missing that right end plate on the front wing then. 3.2 seconds the gap. Here comes Dace, rounding the final couple corners now. Will he be able to hold on to the win? It's a 10th or less. 7/100ths of a second, 3/100ths of a second. Who's going to have it at the line? Dace is going to cross the finish line. Is Scornsy going to be able to take it? And no! Scornsy will be short by a 10th and a half, and Dace will win the Canadian Grand Prix by the skin of his teeth. Majaka will be coming home in third. Murfincelli's just picked up an additional 3 seconds for track limits then. That's going to bump A-Dub up to fourth. So it's Dace with the win, Scornsy second, Majako third, and A-Dub in fourth. It's been a wonderful day for the AlphaTauri team. Smith Pell now coming home in sixth. Dusty Lusky being demoted to 7th. Unholy Red Eye 8th. Knuckles will be losing out on, I'm afraid, many a position here. Maybe just one, actually, as only in the nearest vicinity is that of Shariah Coleslaw. So at the end of a spectacular Canadian Grand Prix, it is Dace taking the win by a 10th and a half over Scornsy in second. Majako third, A-Dub rebounding back to fourth. Murfincelli fifth, Smith Pell driver of the day in sixth. Dusty Lusky seventh, Unholy Red Eye eighth. Ninth is Shariah Coleslaw, 10th Knuckles, 11th Tweezer, 12th Ray Lobo, 13th Nikki 64, 14th is Chevy Freak, and rounding out the field, did not finish the race, is Ray 46, as well as that of Nikki 64 and Chevy Freak as well. It's been an unbelievable Grand Prix here today in the Coleslaw Cup, and it's only gonna get even better as next week the league, the Coleslaw Cup, heads to the I forget what the track is called, but it is Mexico. I should have this off the top of my head, but going to Mexico next week, and then after that the dreaded debut of Miami. Well, it's been an absolutely amazing Grand Prix here today. Hotspot, it's been me on the call. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you next week when we head to Mexico for round 6 of the Coleslaw Cup.